And now, your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon! Well, guys, it's another episode. Oh, yeah, I'm back. And I feel like I wasn't even just here all that time. But, guys, tonight, you guys are going to get to see another Stadia Bash community member. And this person is nothing else than epic. Now, first of all, my name is the Cowboy, and I am known as the all-purpose champ. That means I love gaming, but I'm also the master of vlogging. So that means my whole life since 2011 is on my YouTube channel. Every birthday, Valentine's Day, my wedding, my honeymoon, you name it, it's on here. And the Cowboy, well, guys, that just means I'm a natural born entertainer. That's right. I look at this as entertainment, not a game streamer. I am a content creator, but I'm an entertainer. And all of that means that I'm the king of content. So now that we got that out of the way, guys, the SBC stands for Stadia Bash Community. And just to give you a little bit of insight, if you don't know what that is, there's a channel on YouTube called Stadia Bash Community. And all we simply do is find people who make Stadia content on YouTube, and we just promote their channel. If you stream on a certain day, you let us know. We'll put it out there. Guys, you want some Stadia content to watch? Here's a Stadia content creator. And that's it. That's simple. When we used to it was called Stadia Bass Community Network. It was like a TV station. You streamed a 1 hour time slot every week, the same time. So now we decided to get the N off and just make it Stadia Bass Community. So now if you stream all day, all night, then you're welcome to it. So I hope to give you a little idea of what the Stadia Bash community is. If you guys want to be a part of the Stadia Bash community and just join, a group of people who just want to promote each other, we try to show up to each other's streams when we can. It's kind of like a brotherhood, sisterhood. It's pretty cool. But with that said, I'm going to pull up a chair. I hope you guys pull up a chair, and I'm going to sit down and get comfortable, and we're going to do it. So with that being said, let me change this. So I'm getting used to this thing, which is called Melon. And as I get used to it, I'm going to be figuring things out. But I feel like stuff is in weird places on this thing, man. But anyway, let's get into the comments. So Paul is in the building. First up, Holtz is in here. All right. Let's see. Holtz and Paul. Crow is in the building. Hello again, Crow. Stadia Pro is here. He said, who will it be today? Ryzak's even in the building. Oh, man. He said, ruining the surprise. It's me. I am the spotlight. Wilson is in the building. My guy. And we just had a ball of a time playing some Marvel Avengers. And Wilson, I'm going to keep checking to see when that update happens. And when it happens, I'll let you know. And dude, if you want to just jump in a quick game, well, it's pretty late where you are. But hopefully that update is tonight at some point. Mr. Urban World trolling as usual. All right, guys. So with that said, it's time for me to bring on my mystery guest for today. None other than a guy that you've all seen in the community in more ways than one. Now, why did I say more ways than one? What's going on, Chill Gaming? So I said more ways than one because you've seen this guy or interacted with this guy, whether it was on Stadia or YouTube or even Twitter, and it might have been under a different name. So he said maker of chaos. So with that being said, I gave you guys a little hint, but I'm going to bring out none other than a guy that I was pleasantly shocked. Pleasantly, that doesn't sound right. I was really shocked when I found out he was one of the same people. So I'm going to bring out right now none other than Monkey Boy, aka Happy, aka Cloudy V. Let's go, Cloud Validation.
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother?
Troublemaker, man. Your favorite troublemaker's here.
Well, this is your time, brother. So you can start trouble all through this whole show if you like.
No trouble, no trouble. This is
not tonight. All right, cool.
Friendly night.
So Cloudy V, man, I've been liking calling you that lately.
Yeah, it's a little easier than Cloud Validation, though.
Yeah, for sure. But somebody earlier said change the name and channel. Like, no. Cloud Validation is a cool name. It's just that Cloudy V. That's
yeah, for sure, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that. And I told somebody the other day, I said, dude, we were talking about intros and stuff. I said, I like when Cloudy V show ends. And it's like the clouds coming down, like the smoke comes down.
Smoke down, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. But how are you doing today, man?
Doing well. It's moving along through the week, so we're getting ready to head for the weekend. We got Friday coming up. You know what that means, right?
Oh, I know.
First of the month, right? First of the month. We're all gonna be singing that song. Wake up, wake up.
Let me ask you this before we get into all the questions. So it was said that World War Z, Stadia said World War Z will come out the first week of April. The question is, which day do you pick that World War Z? If I could get you to pick a day, which day is it coming out?
I almost feel like they might wait until the following Friday, maybe.
Okay.
And maybe we'll get into it later because I don't want to get real deep into it. But it seems like they like to break out like maybe the bigger game that's going to be the pro game that's the bigger game and put it back like to a different date.
Okay.
They've done that a few times if you've noticed.
Yeah.
And I think because that way, if 5 games all come out on the first, then it doesn't get the attention that it deserves. To where if it comes out the following Friday, then everybody's playing it. You know what I mean? Instead of some people playing that, some people playing that, and they want that pro number. You know what I mean? They want that thing to.
And I feel like honestly, they should know that honestly, World War Z is gonna do good on Stadia, man. We all know it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, the people are waiting to play it. I mean, they're waiting for something.
Yeah, so why not give like Deliver Us the Moon, its little shine, and everything else, and not just put everybody playing World War Z,
Right. See, I looked at it the opposite way, but exactly the way you're saying is that way the other smaller games can get some time first too, instead of everybody just playing World War Z and then they're not getting no pro time. It gives them a little, people to jump in and then maybe they'll enjoy it and then play it more.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Well, with that said, man, let me get into some questions. And I always ask all the guests, you don't mind if people ask you questions, do you?
I mean, keep it real.
Okay. So guys, Cloudy V.
They can ask all they want. Don't mean I got to answer, right?
Yeah, that's right. So I mean, that goes without saying. So you guys can ask Cloudy V some questions, gaming questions and stuff like that. So I want to start with this, man. I always like to hear, like, yeah, we like Stadia, we play cloud gaming, but there was other things before that. So what got you into gaming? Little Cloudy V, let me hear.
You were talking way back. You want to go because I'm like you. I'm older than you, man. I'm old. I'm 50. I'm pushing 51. So
are you really?
Oh yeah, I'll be 51.
I'm always thinking I'm older than everybody, man.
No. Remember we talked when I was Monkey Boy. We talked about it before in your night chats with you and the wife.
Okay.
And we talked about your age, and I was like, I got you beat by like 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, see, listen, I didn't realize you was the same person back then. So
Right, exactly. Yeah. So my video games started way back in, dropping quarters, way back in arcade days. I mean, I personally didn't have like when the first couple systems came out, like Pong, and then when Atari first dropped, I didn't have them, in our house, but like a cousin had them or a neighbor had them, from what I remember. But basically, I guess like I said, I played those. Like I said, it was Pong and Atari 2600. Those first early games, and then as far as like remember, I mean, no one's going to know it, but like I could just vaguely remember I used to play this game in the arcade, or not in the arcade. My mom used to go bowling. Like I would go off and play. They had games, and it was something called the Star Castle, and it's kind of like Tempest. If you ever saw the game Tempest,
yeah.
It's that same type of. It's called like it's a certain type of technology. It's not like dot matrix. It's called something else with those laser lines. Okay. It's like it's a certain way they made games back then when they were progressing. And but that was one that was like I used to play all the time. And as far as like quarters, or players early that I can remember like putting a lot of time into. But then from there, it just progressed like everything else. I can't remember. Basically up until what was it? There wasn't much excitement until the NES dropped. For the most part. Everything was kind of
be honest, man. I used to like Atari, man. I was playing Pitfall and
no, that was the one. I'm glad you said
that. I'll be 46 next month. So trust me, I still
not that far behind me, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I definitely put time into. I mean, there was definitely. I said they were cool. Which I was saying, like when all of a sudden, then when NES dropped, it was just like such a massive difference. All the games were the same up until that point. And then it was like, holy cow, that's like a video. I mean, like it's like such a major difference. So
okay, cool. So take me through like your gaming history. Like what type of when you were playing Genesis. Okay, first of all, were you a Sega Genesis guy or were you a Nintendo guy?
You know what? I was a first NES, the original NES guy, because there wasn't no other system.
Correct. We all was an NES person for the most part.
And I didn't actually same thing. I didn't have one, but like a couple of friends in the neighborhood had one. So I always liked the NES. But then Sega Genesis was the one I actually chose. Was the champion. You know what I mean?
I lied to you.
The eye doesn't lie. You know what I mean? And back then it was really about such a drastic difference. Again, I mean, it went from 16-bit or 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit. So those were big jumps. You know what I mean? It made a big difference in a lot of the games. You know what I mean? What they could do.
Did you get to play the Sega Master System before the Genesis?
So was the first system called the Sega Master System?
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah, I definitely had played the first system. Yep, the original one. Yep.
Yeah, a buddy of mine, he was fortunate, man. His parents bought him everything. So we would walk around the corner to his house and we're like, dude, so he had Sega Master System, he had Genesis first. And yeah, I remember playing the Sega Master System wrestling game with the little characters and all that, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I remember the same thing. I had a buddy in the name of a couple, but one buddy particularly was that kid. You know what I mean? They had every toy that you could think of, and every system and whatnot. So spent a lot of time, playing on their systems basically. I think my first system that I bought for myself was a PS1.
Okay, cool.
That was actually the first one that I actually purchased for myself. And,
gotcha. So you skipped the GameCube, huh?
I was not a big Nintendo fan after the NES. I did like the Super Nintendo, I think, after that. But then after that, like the Nintendo, I was getting a little bit older, you know what I mean? And it was just like Nintendo games weren't. I was getting to where I wanted the violence and the blood and I wanted all that stuff. And Nintendo was too kind. And you know what I mean? I wanted the stuff that you weren't supposed to see. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I see. That's kind of what happened to me. I was being a little funny the other day, but I said I feel like I grew up from Nintendo a long time ago. But I kind of did feel like that a little bit. I felt like, man, when you see like somebody just put the Sega Genesis with Sega CD, right? So when they had like I forgot that one game, but it was so graphic and like I was drawn to that stuff, So me and Nintendo were starting to part ways. I was like, all right, Mario's cute, and I love Mario Kart, and I was a grown man about to fight over Mario Tennis, but it's something about this other adult type content, that was pulling me, So
yeah, so right before I went and bought my PS1, before that got announced, I was on the Genesis at that, playing all Genesis games. And I just had moved out into my own with some buddies. It was like right after I graduated high school or got out of high school, and I had the Genesis, but we used to play on the it was Charter Communications cable. Charter, I don't know if you guys have Charter out there, but they had the Sega channel. And it had the little cartridge thing that you plugged into your Genesis, and then you had access to like 150 games or something like that. You know what I mean? For like you could play for like $10 a month or something like that. It was awesome, man. It was like the first basically somewhat like downloading games in so many ways. You know what I mean? Because it worked through cable and like it had this modem thing that it was like a big cartridge, but like it plugged into the top of the Genesis. And then when you turned it on, you could see this whole list of games. You picked them, and then it took like 2 minutes, and then they would boot up and you start playing them just like regular. But
that's cool as hell.
It was pretty cool, yeah, definitely.
So you got a PlayStation 1. I'm just traveling, through the
so after that, then that's when I jumped into the PlayStation 1. After that, it came out. Yep.
And then did you gradually be a PlayStation guy? 2, 3,
I
4?
stayed with yes, exactly. Yep. I stuck with the PlayStation. I camped out for PS2 and PS3. Literally I camped out overnight on the sidewalk for those systems. So but yeah, I was a PlayStation guy all the way up until PS3. I got that, and it came out. And right after it came out, that's when I kind of faded away from games a little bit. Life was just busy with work, and I had 3 kids at the time, my kids, and just So they started playing it more, and I would play it with them when I got home from work, but not as much dedicated time to gaming. It kind of faded away at that point a little bit, and then.
Man, we got here fast because I usually wait a little bit. So let me ask one question.
I don't want to boost too much.
Mr. Ermoro got a question. No, because your history was kind of cool. Like a lot of people's like, I did this and I did that and I did this. You was like, listen, bro, I was into Nintendo. Everybody was, but then I was into Sega, and then I skipped Nintendo. But Mr. Ermoro said, question to cloud validation: once 5G replaces 4G, do you think that being more people? Hold up. Do you think it'll bring more people to cloud gaming service such as Stadia throughout the nation and other countries?
I mean, obviously, yes. The 5G will, but I honestly, like I said, my experience, like you say, I can play on my 4G just as the experience on my 4G is the exact same as it is on my 5G. So I think in other areas, it's really just about once they get it, the organization, like I talked about before, and the throughput and having it all arranged to where it'll work fine over 4G, even for the most part, as long as it's not an overcrowded network. If you're at a baseball game and there's 30,000 people on the line, you can't even make a phone call. So there's different situations, but definitely 5G's going to advance it as well. We're all waiting for that. But
I agree. So let me just say what's up to some of the people. So we got Paul again. Holtz is in here. Seen some new people came in here. Say what's up to some of the newer people. Damon came in here. My guy Wilson is in here. Let's see. Proto is in the building. Proto said, he said, we should peer pressure the devs for Warface to get them to add it on Stadia. I did play Warface. It was a free game on PlayStation. And it's interesting. It's another, military shooter, but it had a lot to it. It had a battle royale mode. It had deathmatch. It had everything you could think of. There was one mission where you fought this big giant robot. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting. But it was pretty much a shooter. Let's see. Windstar's in the building. Simpleton's in the building. Vet Cloud Gaming is in the building. Let's see. So Sega Game Gear is the OG Steam Deck. I got you. Let's see. All right. So, and Dude Games is in the building. 3DO, baby. So that's what I want to ask you about next. There were some niche systems, and I wonder if you had interest in them or did you get them? So I noticed Dude Games at Splatterhouse, and my first experience with Splatterhouse was actually on the TurboGrafx 16. So did you either A, have a Panasonic 3DO, TurboGrafx 16, Neo Geo, which is the big one, man, that was super expensive, or Atari Jaguar? Did you ever have any of those four?
None of those, no. But prior to way back when I actually I didn't get into it because I didn't know how much detail you were trying to get into in the early history. But I had
your show, brother. This is your show. This is the Cloudy V show.
So I wanted to, just like every kid, I wanted an Atari 2600. I probably asked for it every single Christmas, and I didn't get it. And the answer was no. And I think the reason why, because I ended up getting this system that I got was actually more expensive. And I think the main reason why was because back then, like most households, we only had one TV in the house.
Right.
I mean, you did in 1978, 1979, 1980. Most houses didn't have 5 TVs like they do today. You had one, and so I think basically it came down to where my dad didn't want to have a video game system hogging up his Saturday afternoon time with the TV. So anyways, there was a system that came out in like 1980, around 1980, and it was right before NES is the reason why it failed, but it was a huge advancement over Atari. It was called the Vectrex, VECTREX. Most people, unless you're like a super geeky indie gamer,
I remember in television, but
yeah, it was like in the ColecoVisions and all them around, but this was called a Vectrex. So anyways, it was like an all-in-one system. It was like a television with the system all made into it all in one. So it was like you got the screen and everything, but it was like I don't know how big the screen was, like a 13-inch screen or something like that. And it had the controllers and stuff like that. But the games were like way more advanced than like Atari 2600 games. They were the games that kind of looked like that Star Castle and Tempest, where they were like these laser matrix or something like that, instead of just like dot matrix or something. So anyways, that was kind of like my first, I guess, off system. It was a bad choice because it came out, and then like 6 months after it came out, that's when NES came out and it crushed it. I mean, it just went wayside. So then I made another bad choice. Same thing. I did buy a Dreamcast. I was a Dreamcast guy. I love that thing.
Oh wow!
Oh my god! I had the Dreamcast and playing the football, playing the Sega. Was not the Sega football, but what's the football called? It was the 2K Sports football.
Okay.
Did you ever play that? And you could pick the controller on the pad.
Yeah, I wasn't a big sports guy. Back in the day, like Nintendo, I played, NHL, like the hockey game and the wrestling and the basketball, or NBA jams and NFL Blitz and all that stuff. Right. But once I got older and I was able to like pretty much buy the games I wanted, then I stopped buying sports games. Besides Wayne Gretzky Wayne Gretzky, whatever it was called. That I was a big fan of that on the Nintendo 64, but.
Yeah, I just remember because you could the Dreamcast had that the screen that you could put in the controller, the extra little screen, and then you could pick your plays on there instead of having them on the screen like the old style where people would steal your plays. Your buddy would see what you were going to do and stuff. So that was like a big advance. But then the same thing, it was out about 6 months, and then it died because the damn PS2 got announced. And
yeah, I had some good times with Dreamcast, though. I'll tell you that, man.
Soul Calibur, oh my God, Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur, yeah. Marvel vs. Capcom, man, good stuff. Yep. Yeah, Dragon Force, Psychic Force, just a lot of games. But all right, cool. So Cloudy V. So we know you skipped on the PlayStation 4, but you were a fan of Sony. So I'm gonna deviate a little bit, being that today is the day of the big announcement. So about 8 a.m. Eastern this morning, Sony announced, aka Project Spartacus, which now we know it's actually called PlayStation Plus.
Just going to play, just keeping the same name basically, which is a good idea. I think. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, but when PlayStation, when it goes live, they're actually getting rid of PlayStation Now. So there won't be no more PlayStation Now. It's just going to be a tier in PlayStation Plus. So it's going to be
all going to be called PlayStation Plus.
Correct. It's all
now is just included into the Plus. So now is not singled out anymore. The reason why, right?
What people are doing to be smart, but actually Mr. Urbanworld tried to look it up and it was sold out. If you could get your hands on a PlayStation Now membership, that's going to be that membership is going to be added into the most expensive PlayStation Plus tier, and it's going to be like 50% off pretty much, right? So whoever still got a long bit of PlayStation PlayStation Now, they're looking pretty good come June or whenever it comes to the United States. Or
did they close the whatever the purchasing site now?
You can't purchase it. Yeah, you can't purchase it. Yeah, and a couple months ago they actually was in different stores. They took They got rid of at the kiosk where you could buy little cards of it. They got rid of that a couple months ago. So we already seen this coming. We just didn't know what was going to happen. So do you know the tiers and everything? Did you hear of everything yet?
Yeah, I got the gist of it. I mean, I don't know. But I know there's 3 tiers, and you get the first tier is basically what you got before. The second tier is kind of an add-on with a few games, and the third one is the master, and you get the cloud gaming and et cetera.
So your thoughts now that it's official?
It's not what I wanted because I'm a cloud gamer only. I mean, I'm not a hardware gamer anymore. When the PS3 went up in smoke, and like I said, and I know we skipped forward, but I got it. That's where I got into cloud gaming back then. But we can backtrack. But I
just want to get your opinion on this.
Yeah, no, the Spartacus thing definitely. But it's still cool. I think it's awesome because they needed to do something for all the other hardware players that are outside of us, all the people that are into the PlayStation ecosystem. It's a great thing for them. You know what I mean? But we won't have access to that, and then we don't, like you said. I think you mentioned it. We don't know what volume of games are even going to be in the cloud library. Right. You know what I mean?
So here's what's great. They did mention the cloud quite a bit of times. Actually, I did screenshot this because I was talking about it all day. So I want to read this.
If they're not PS5 games in the cloud, then I don't want them. I mean, it's not that I don't want them, but
let me read this directly. It says offers cloud streaming access for original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PSP, and PS4 games offered in the extra and premium tiers in markets where PlayStation Now is currently available. Customers can stream games using a PS4 and PS5 and PC. So here's my problem. You left out mobile.
Right.
So there's no way to stream it on mobile besides you do all this extra stuff.
They're just not prepared is the problem. They don't have the data. They don't want to spend the money on it. They can't fight. Sony can't afford to fight a 2-war front, basically. I mean, they can't spend all the money on cloud and build and advance the data to where they can open up those floodgates and say, yeah, jump on mobile, jump on here, jump on all these sources, because they just simply can't afford it. They're having enough trouble creating this thing to keep up with Game Pass in reality.
Right.
I mean, in reality.
I feel like this is just something to say, hey, we have a subscription also. It's not that, right? But this is our subscription, right? But here's what's noticeable. Notice it says when you use their cloud streaming, and actually I want to talk to you about this. It's crazy that a lot of places are kind of dropping the word cloud, but in the PlayStation thing, a lot of times they kept saying streaming, but they added cloud right here, I guess, to specify it. But wherever else you read it, it just says streaming. But that might be a good way because no one says Netflix cloud streaming. You just said Netflix streaming, and people don't even
simplifies it.
Yeah,
the word cloud kind of sounds adds like a clog to the whole thing. It's like,
it's like it's cloud. Oh, that's the thing. That's not
cloud.
possible.
Boo. It's cloudy.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea.
Here's what's funny though. They said PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4. They totally skipped PlayStation 3.
Oh.
They skipped streaming PlayStation 3 games.
Wonder why.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
but for me, like I said, I want PS5 games to be able to be streamed. I mean, right. It's cool they're going to have PS4, but I mean, if with no promise of PS5 at all, then it's kind of like you're saying it's all going to be 720p and 1080p games at maximum, right. And a lot of 30 FPS, and which is cool, but it's not what I want to spend my money on, really.
So for me, I'm okay, just for now, because 90% of the games they showed and that's out for a PlayStation 5 is also on the PlayStation 4. I'm like, but anyways, they show Returnal will be a part of the service, but obviously you won't be able to stream it. All right, so now let's back up. So this is cool. Now we get that punchline. Tell me, brother, how did you get into cloud gaming?
So cloud gaming, I think we went the one meeting about OnLive. 2009, I was actually watching the GDC show, and I saw that take place, and I was just like, shit myself, basically. I remember I recorded, and I was like, had to show all kinds of people, like, you won't believe this is like insane. I mean, this is like insanity, especially, like I said, 10 years ago when he put a demonstration on, right on the stage. It was like one of the Lego games, I think, and another game he demonstrated. And so, yeah, OnLive, I actually signed up that day or whatever, and I got the thing. And then just like Stadia, they had tons of promotions over the 4 or 5 years, and I ended up with 8 or 9 of the consoles. I got 2 brand new ones still in the box, but I would always just like with Stadia, I would give it away. Hey, my father-in-law or my cousin or something like that. Here, man, here's a birthday present, and then our nephew, try it out. You know what I mean? And try it out. So, but the same thing. I had a bunch of systems from them, and the experience with them was really good. I mean, it was a little more laggier. You could feel it than Stadia was day one, but it was still a great experience. So. And that whole thing took place, and they got I don't know if you know the whole story, but they kind of got screwed by EA is what happened on day one.
I don't know. You know what? I don't know where I was at in life, but OnLive just over my head.
Right.
Yeah.
So they launched.
I feel like it came out in an alternate universe that I didn't live in, because I'm like, I don't even.
So let me tell you what happened. They launched, and when they did their demonstrations on that day, where I talked about that at 2009 GDC, their EA game was there. What's the site? What's that EA game? It's called Cypress, not Cypress.
Crisis.
You
talking about the current one that's out?
Crisis. What's that game called? Crisis 1, 2, and 3. And they remastered that, but that's when that came out. And that was going to be on there, and a bunch of other EA games were all announced that day. Okay, so it comes up to launch day, and freaking EA decides to pull all their games and not allow them to be on the system on launch day. And they decided that they're partnering with another company that came out of the sky blue, out of nowhere, and is copying what OnLive is doing, called Gaia. And they basically screwed Steve Perlman right up his ass, pardon my French, but he worked for 10 years underground in development to create OnLive. Then 6 months after he announces it, EA stabs him in the back and partners with Gaia, and they're copying and doing the exact same thing. So there was some kind of a deal where they wanted to make more money, because how EA is, they're so damn greedy. So anyways, that was the beginning of their downfall. Then they ran out of funding, and it was all private, and whatever. So it went to hell in a handbasket after. But it ran from 2009 until 2014 before it got completely shut down. He kept it going that long, all privately, and then Sony actually bought out Gaia first, and then they bought out OnLive second, and then like you said, they took all that technology and they tanked it and just sat it on a shelf for 10 years instead of building it out, slowly. If they would have done that, they would be a leader right now. They would have just slowly started building data centers and expanding their cloud gaming, instead of I mean, they basically just shelved it. You know, I mean, they didn't even try to promote it. You know, but anyways, we here nor there.
Just to let you know, a lot of people corrected me. They said, even though what I read, I screenshot it, but they said the reason why what I'm reading doesn't say PS3 because PS3 games are stream only, I guess is what they're saying. So so that's good for us, right? Because we're cloud gamer. So yeah, he said let me see. Said they didn't skip PS3 games, Cowboy. It's part of the streaming plan.
Oh, it's probably because they're already there, and they're saying now they're going to be adding PS4, PSP. They're adding a bunch more, is what they're saying.
Right.
So, they just didn't include something that was already in the existing library, I guess, is what he's saying.
Okay, fair enough.
I get it.
So
I want PS5 if I'm. I mean, if I want to stream and pay for streaming, I want their current games.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to do that because, like I said, they're going to have a couple newer games that's going to be included, and Returnal is one of them, and that's a PS5 exclusive.
Right.
But obviously that's
but that's just download only. That's download only if you own a system, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what would be cool though? I mean, I'm totally cool with a PlayStation 4 version, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I see what you're saying. They could make a PS4 version of that game, and that could end up being on the cloud.
Yeah.
So then we still get newer games. That's what I mean. I just want access to newer games, not all older games. You know.
Yeah, because I don't expect cloud to just. I don't expect everybody to be running around with a 3080 in the cloud, right? I get that.
Right.
But if you could give me 1080 60, or I mean, listen, I play a lot of 1080 30, right? But if you could just get me the game, because I know you're gonna listen. If you could start, it's like content creation. Just start. And I know you're going to take off eventually. Sony, come on, you're going to take off. But if you could just start with something. So that's why I think I'm cool with that. But anyway, now lead us into, you told us all of that about Gaikai and on live. So how does that lead you into Stadia?
Well, after that happened, the Gaikai thing took place and on live shut down. I did try GeForce Now about 6 months after that is when GeForce Now originally launched in beta. It was around the spring of 2015. And I tried it. And it worked just similar to online did. A little bit laggy and stuff worked, and it was great. It was a similar experience. But the problem was, especially then, is like 99% of the games were keyboard only without any type of controller bindings unless you were going to go in and custom set it all up yourself for every game, and it didn't save it, so you had to redo it every single time. And I remember it was just like, it just wasn't for me because I'm not a keyboard gamer at all. I just like I'm not. I just don't like gaming on a keyboard. It's just no fun to me at all. So I bailed out after that, and like I said, didn't play a lot of games. Advanced all the way up until I guess it would have been like 2018. So that would have been from 2015 to 2018. Didn't really play hardly any games at all, except for maybe just with my kids every once in a while coming home or something. And then PUBG Mobile came out, and when that game came out, and I had a smartphone or whatever, and I was I tried it and I was just like hooked. You know what I mean? It just
it was good. Dude, it was like a console. Think about it. You was able to add people could join. You're multiplayer. I mean, that
was the whole thing, right? Exactly. You get that whole experience. You get that whole experience. It's like, wow.
You felt like you were playing a console game with PUBG Mobile. Like I was a big fan of that.
So exactly, I got drawn into it.
A buddy of mine's. Yeah,
me and my wife. I started playing it, and then I would play with my wife's son and then other buddies and our friends and stuff like that. But so then Stadia got announced in 2019, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Awesome. Because like I said, I was sold when Steve Perlman came out and sold me on, because I was always tired of my PlayStations breaking. I mean, I had an experience where two of them, not the PS1 never broke, but one of the PS2s broke, and then one of the PS3s broke. And, you had to buy it twice, and it's like, that's a lot of money. I mean, it's just like you're invested. You got all these games. You're tied into Sony. And you got all your games at Sony, and then your system's smoked. You got no choice but to go buy another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, that's.
And half the time you don't even wait to like send it off for the warranty and have it come back in 3 weeks or 4 weeks. You're like, screw that. You know what I mean? And then you go and buy another one. So when On Live announced, never ever buy again. We do all the upgrading. We're going to do all the upgrading. All you got to do is just pay us $10 a month, and we're going to do all the upgrading forever, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. You know what I mean? Because like I said, as stuff advances, they just bring on the new advancements. You keep getting bigger, better. You never have no, you know, your system never gets old. I was like, this is awesome. But then it died. So then, like I said, we advanced to Stadia Day. It got announced. And I was like, great. It's going to be the same thing, basically. You know what I mean? So Stadia came out in 2019, signed up for the founders, got the founders, you know, on November the 19th when it was activated, that November the 19th, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Patiently waiting, you know, for our activation codes. And, and same thing, I had one and me and my wife bought one. And, you know, we started playing on day one. I think it was Destiny was the big game on, you know, for the first week or two. And then Ghost Recon Breakpoint got released, you know, with that immersive stream or whatever, not immersive stream, but what they call it? Stream Connect, you know what I mean? With all that and that thing. So, you know, and then yada, yada, went from there and started becoming, you know, like I said, in the community and stuff like that with other streamers. Monkey Boy was who I shaded under for the longest time, you know, for a year and a half, 2 years, Monkey Boy stuff. But when I decided to do my own channel, I just said, Monkey Boy is not a channel that anybody's going to, you know, anybody's going to search. And, you know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? So that's when I said, I got to switch it to cloud validation.
So let me ask you about that. You do realize a lot of people thought you were two different people, right?
Oh, yeah.
You get that, right?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people.
I tried to tell people. I tried to tell them.
What I was wondering though was, at first, did you intend for it to be like, kind of like two people, or did you notice like, oh, some people don't realize we're the same people? Like, why did you even come up with two different accounts? Like, explain that to me.
Well, like I said, when I decided to, when I was posting as Monkey Boy all the time, I would post as Monkey Boy, or I would chat as basically in chat most of the time. And
yes,
it was so hard, like I told you before, to get your your point across, because it was, you know, you got 50 words, or not even 50 words, 25 words or something like that. And I'd be halfway through what I was trying to make a pretty good point, I don't know, a counterpoint to what somebody else might have been saying or whatever. And then it would get whitewashed, and then you have to come back 3 sentences later. So I was like, hey, I want to create a channel so I can, you know, try to get what my thoughts are, and my, or whatever, my breakdown and my whatever, positive, whatever. So I switched over and created cloudy validation. But then when I was coming back in and chatting still in the beginning, I was like, man, I can't tarnish cloud validation with too much aggression. You know what I mean? It's like Monkey Boy still is a little bit wild, you know, and he was being a little bit, you know, but I don't, if you could go back, I don't think I ever, you know, slapped anybody in the face. You know, I didn't pull a Will Smith on anybody.
I will say, but I will say this though, it was a given. If I was doing a show, or if I was watching the Ace or anything, and when I seen Monkey Boy, I said, oh, god damn. I felt like I was the cloud gaming bad boy. I was always having these shows and inviting people on. I asked them the crazy questions. I wanted to see them shaking a chair. But I was like, this Monkey Boy guy, man, he don't play. Like, he asked the tough questions, and he made people look stupid. Like, I remember having shows where you pretty much wrote the show. Like, you're in the audience, and your questions were so good. I read your questions and be like, well, to the panel, and everybody's like, okay. And then you put another question. I'm like, ooh, that's hit hard. He's like, oh, well, if Stadia isn't this, why is that? I'm like, damn, why ain't thinking that? So then I'm like,
you know what I mean?
yes, I would read that question, and it'd be like, so then when Cloudy V, I felt like it's nowhere in the world could that be the same person, you know, because you were so chill, whatever, cloud validation, like, oh, cloud validation. And for weeks, probably months, I didn't know, right? Didn't know. And then one day you told me, and I was like, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. This is like the biggest, like, I don't know, mind trip. So I'm just a little detail on that, man. Like, did you, like, I guess is that simple? You wanted to create a channel, but you just didn't want it to associate with some of, you know, when you were checking people, the virtual checking people, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, and plus sometimes, to be honest with you, like, I would just like forget, you know, and I was still using Monkey Boy primarily. Okay. And, you know, cloud validation really wasn't going anywhere. You know, it was like I made like a couple of videos at first, and it was like 3 views after, like, you know, like 3 weeks. So I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? I really was just still using Monkey Boy more than I was using, cloud validation. Like I was basically had a thing where anytime I was going to go on somewhere and talk, I was still monkey boy. I was really just building cloud validation in the background, but I wasn't trying to like plug them into anybody's show or anything like that. I really wasn't, about that. I was just, like I said, I really just want to make good, because sometimes people would say like this thing, oh, Stadia is stupid. It's just dumb. And I want to make like a real point that's like, no, here's some factual things that are true, and here's some factual things that aren't so good about GeForce Now or whatever it might have been in those certain arguments. I just want to try to bring common sense. What I would try to do is just 2 + 2 is 4, and then if you like it, digest it and take it home. If you don't, spit it out, and that's all for you. But I don't, they weren't like insults. I always felt like they were, like I said, sometimes I might have had a little poke, make little pokes and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? For the most part, like I said, like you said, I thought it was just controversial things that were to say, hey, because I like that. I like when guys or people in general get together and talk, and then I say this and you say that, and then we come up with this theory, and we come up with this thing, and we come up with that. That's how things come, get developed.
Yeah, I agree. If you could be candid, say what you got to say, mean what you say, and then whether we disagree or not, you just keep it moving. My coach is back here. But yeah, I agree. So let me ask you this. I always gotta ask this question. And I swear, bro, if you answer this with an answer I hope you don't answer, I'm gonna have to come to your house. We're gonna have words. All right. So here's the question.
Oh, I know what the question is.
All right. So don't do me like that, man. It can't be. It can't be. That can't be the answer. It can't be the answer. I won't believe it. So
okay. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I'm throwing you a curveball.
But you gotta be honest, though. You gotta be honest.
Yep.
So, you've been around for a while, so you knew of the Stadia Bash community. Did you knew of it when it was Stadia Bash Community Network?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All right, cool. So you know the history, kind of a lot of stuff. You probably seen me put my foot in my mouth a couple times and put some posts on Twitter, and people like, oh, I can't be a part of that because he said whatever. Okay, fine. It was Monkey Boy that did it, man. It wasn't me. You got to hold my account. So the question is, who is your favorite Stadia Bash community member?
Oh goodness, it's hard to say a favorite. You know who my favorite is? I like so many. There's so many guys. Everybody's got their little thing, and they got their. They're just the community is so awesome. That's the best thing. Is just there's so many, little special things that everybody offers that's just for me is just awesome. Like I get your awesomeness and your epicness and your excitement, and I'm just like it brightens my day. And then I get Ray and SPG and Jeff and those guys hot dogging each other, and
Ray just showed up. This guy, Ray, you better not be trying to like. You better not be inboxing him trying to play him.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and then like Jeff, there's just so many people, and then all of our guys from across the pond, Rock and I can't think of all their names right now, but everybody, there's just so many people that they make it special, man. God, it's hard to say, man. It's so hard to say.
Do you need me to pull up the list, man? And it could be it could be a past person too.
Yeah, let's see
somebody who So it was hard because before you had to do an hour, right? At least an hour once a week. So there was people who was like, dude, I did it for months. My schedule changed, so I'm no longer going to be a part of the SBC. Now we changed it so anybody could do whatever, right? And just be a part of it. So we just want to make like a little group, and it's just we all do Stadia content. You could do more, but for the most part, right?
You just be a part of it, right?
Right. So there are some people who haven't came back, which they totally can. Like Chairman Gaming, we talk all the time. He's one of my friends, right? And at one point he said, "Listen, dude, I kind of can't stick to the hour, so I don't, I can't be a part of it." I said, "Dude, I totally understand," because we was rigid about it, right? You had to be an hour or more, right? So he left. This guy. Anyways, but there's people who are no longer a part of it. So you can even use an old person. But do you need me to pull up the list?
Yeah, let me see the list before I make a final decision.
Oh man,
there could be someone special in there. That's it's extra special, you know.
All right, let's do it. And plus, there's a bunch of new people.
And there's new people as well. Exactly. There's some new
so
guys
that is pretty cool too.
That are great.
All right, so let's do this. I'll make this full screen. And I go to my channel. This is how I find it fast. Go to my channel. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, it's right there. Stadia Avengers community. All right, so and we got the ladies too, right? Oh wow, I can add my daughter now because she has her own channel. Now, here's the funny thing. Purple's been around, and I never asked her if she wanted to be a part of it yet. And she's a diehard Stadia fan, so maybe I should. So we got Spectre, we got myself, we got SPG, we got Ray, we got Jeff, we got Clive. He goes by Lord Kenzo.
Yep,
This is
I know. Yeah, I know Clive.
Yep, we got Claw or Slayer Trolls. He kind of don't stream on YouTube anymore. He streams on Twitch, but his channel is still there. Ninja Guy X and the game vote, which he's in the chat now or was earlier, is Dude Games. We got the Climax, Token Gamer, which he just recently came back. He's been kind of like busy, but he's trying to stream again. We got Squids, as we all know Squids. Collins, Dynasty, the Emperor. Yeah, man, Squid's a good guy, man. I watch him the most because he consistently do a stream every day, and it's perfect when I'm at work. And I'm just like, dude, I'm at work. He's streaming. They're talking about cloud gaming. Sign me up. We got I Am Change Gaming, which used to be Deuce Penny. He changed his name. Four Scars Gaming, or John Scar. Eli, the Stealth Assassin, my dude. He's a speed runner. In his favorite games are Hitman, so he speed runs Hitman. And it's just amazing guy, young guy too. Just went to college, so he's not around that much anymore. Hashtag Media Guy, he hasn't been around that much either. And then we got the newer, and he was Colt of Stadia. And then we got the newer guys, Windstar, some dude named Cloud Validation.
Oh, I can vote for myself.
Right? And Lo-Fi Monk. So, with that being said, okay.
All right. It's tough.
Who do you pick?
It's so tough. All right, I'm going to say this. If we were saying now, it's your favorite. It's just your all-out favorite for the Stadia Bash for the community. And when I say community, okay, if I was going to vote for the funniest, because I would give it what everybody else has been picking. I would go with the Cyborg. He, you know, his banters. Yeah, I love your comedic take, but his banter is just, I'm that old-fashioned guy. And that's what I loved about being a guy with the guys, is doing the hot dogging and the bantering, and you know, and just doing it, you know, just doing that to your buddies and taking that.
How many mama jokes have you? I gave his mom so many jokes. I mean, they're real, actually.
He's not my pick. I'm saying if I was going to pick the funniest, if this was for the funniest, I would go with the Cyborg. But we're going community, and the guy that I think is that really adds that special warmth. You know what I mean? Not maybe the funniness, not maybe that, but the warmth, and he draws a lot of people in. He just is. We're going to go with John Scar.
Oh, that's cool. When you said
I love that guy and his show. Just when his music starts, you know what I mean? Instead of me laughing, then I'm in my, you know what I mean, empathetic, and I'm more happy, and I'm smiling. And I mean, he's just such a, and you know, his ability to bring people in, and you know, so, you know, I think he gets the community award. You know what I mean? The community award.
Okay.
But
well, you know what?
You're my buddy too. Just so you know, I got mad love for you as well, bro.
Oh man, it's cool. Yeah, I don't care if nobody picked me, but if you pick Ray, Ray been picked like 8 times. He's killing me. He's not that likable. He's just not. Man.
Yeah, he's not the guy. He's not your community camp leader. He's like the community camp clown. You know what I mean? John's the community camp leader. You know, kind of guy. It's like, okay, you know, you can fully trust him. He's not going to pull too many sneaky things on you, and if he does, he's almost immediately lets you know it's a joke. You know what I mean? It's just like
right. Dude, he got me so good the other day.
That thing when he got you on that stream, I was watching that night. That was
man, I was like, oh yeah, so it doesn't matter. I was like, what? I didn't think that was like John's lane to get me like that.
Oh my god, I was bugging it, bro. I was bugging. That's what.
Let me do this though, Cloudy V. You are now in the halls with these people. So check this out. let me put this full screen. So now there has been the very first episode of the Stadia, well, back then the Stadia Bash Community Network Spotlight was the Emperor Collins. Then we had Jeff. Then it was John Scar, the Legend 21, Ariel. He's no longer around. He also was a young guy and school girlfriend. Then Eli, right? Then Clive. Then Alex, which he changed his name to Nimbus Cloud. Then Ryzak.
Oh yeah, Nimbus. I know him. I remember him.
Okay, yeah. King Ejimix, my guy. He's also a young guy, and he went to college and stuff. Stadia Pro Gaming, Chariot Man Gaming, and he had part two because StreamYards closed up on me, or Stream Labs.
I missed a lot of these. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to go back and watch some of these because I missed.
Bro, it's awesome. Yeah. So Cloud Gaming Dad, JD MX 3MXP is a great guy. He's in the military, so he got really busy. RJ, if anybody remember RJ, he was the first person to break the mold. So everybody was allowed to do 1 hour. And he was the first person we said, you know what? He wanted to do a community stream, and he did a 4-hour stream. And so RJ, that was really cool with RJ. Lord Gaming Man, Deuce Penny, which is I Am Change Gaming now. This was a funny one. G Million, he came on the show, and he announced on the show when he was on the show that he was leaving the SBC. I was like, wait, what? So that was pretty funny.
He had him on the show, and he's like, "Oh, hey, guess what? I'm out."
He was like, "Guess what? I just don't do a lot of cloud anymore. I'm pretty much." I think he said he bought a PlayStation 5, and it was like, "Yeah, I'm done as of today." I was like, "All right, man, it's cool." Then we had the Ray. Finally took forever, but I did an episode with Ray, and you'll have to see that. Windstar. Then my daughter, because she has her own channel now, and right after that, I'm gonna add you, man. So you are in the halls of fame when it comes to the Stadia Bash Community Spotlight. And so there's more people I want to get with and plan it out and all that stuff. So
awesome, bro. Awesome.
And I want to thank you for your time. I also want to take this time. Let's plug your channel. Let's go to your channel, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. And
let's look around a little bit. Too bad I can't just press the back button. Why? I don't know. Okay. Here, let me pull this up.
I make a few jokey videos. I make a few educational, somewhat, my thoughts, laid out, whatever. That's pretty much what they are. Like I said, a lot of those videos, it's like people don't realize it, but like compared to and I know but like compared to like live streaming, all those edited videos just take so much time. I mean, even the ones that I do that are sloppy, it's just like the time you got to put in to create that. It's just like compared to just doing a live stream and then just sending it out. It's like it's so much time. So I'm just like, and now that summer's coming along, I mean, it's kind of like, in the wintertime, I'm happy it's freezing outside. I ain't gonna be doing it. But now that summer's coming along, I could see a little restriction there or whatnot, But,
just like you, summertime, we're kind of out and about. We got a season pass to Great Adventures. We'll be doing that a lot. So, but yeah, pre-made content is no joke. But guys, check out his channel, man. And also let me add the channel link here. Make sure you guys subscribe to Cloudy V if you didn't already. His content is really good because it's like it's educational, man. Like where do you feel like you're getting like a little education from watching the video? But he really does do a great job of breaking down what he's saying on camera, and it's just really awesome. So pinned in the chat is Cloudy V, or Cloud Validation Channel, and like you said, he got some funny stuff. I love when your videos end with the smoke or the cloud. I love when you switch it up and you have the little funny character talking as well. Like, it shows so many layers to you. And some people may look and be like, wait, what? You make funny videos? But you do. Even your recent video with the PUBG dancing and all that, I watched that today.
I was just having that day, right? Just throwing that out. Yep, exactly. So,
hey, listen, bro, it's content, Here, let me
play my dancing cowboy I made for you. Yeah, my hat tip. That was my hat tip to you, bro, for being awesome.
This video is gonna be epic because I'm a cowboy. All
that. That was my hat tip to you, dude, for helping me out so much, man.
I appreciate it, man. Now, when you showed me that, I was like, bro, you gotta make it. You gotta make everybody else can see it. Like, it's pretty cool. I gotta start sharing that around. But I thank you for everything you've done, man. And like I said, your first show was awesome, man. One of the best first show. It was the best first show. But I have to say, Purple Haze went so hard on her first show. I was like, geez. So I think she just one-upped you a little bit, man. I'm just saying. But Cloudy V, man, and you got a nickname now. We just recently started calling you Cloudy V, you know.
Yeah.
And but is there anything else you want to say to the people, man?
Just hopefully my messages don't come off. I think sometimes in the maybe prior to people meeting me and doing the Cloudy V thing that it might have been as maybe I was a little abrasive or a little aggressive, or like you got the bad rap. In reality, that's not my bag, and I really I like the community. I like everybody in the community. I don't have a crutch or whatever against anybody. You know what I mean? I just really, like I said, when I hear some people saying something that's just like off the wall, I like offering a counter thought to that. And that's really my main goal, is just to kind of, like I said, get those thoughts out there, get people scratching their head and say, hey, wait a minute, here's a different way of looking at this. And maybe it's right, and maybe I'm just a nut job, who knows? I don't know, but that's all. My main goal is really just to get those messages out there. I'm not trying to do much. Yeah, bless you, Sandy.
I would, though, Cloudy V, bro. If I could just be a mediator or the person in the middle, I would love to have a debate with either you or Ace, because those are the greatest fireworks, or you or Duncan. You and Duncan might be a bit much. That might be too much. If you or Ace, I can see that to be a really good
I love Ace too. I got all respect for those guys. I've never said anything against any of them, but like I said, they've said some things and then hasn't said some things, and whatever. Everybody says stuff. Everybody says things. I say things. You say things. We're all human beings. We're all, none of us are saints here. We're all just humans. So we all say stuff. But like I said, in reality, I love those guys. I don't go on there to try to to create problems. I go on there the same thing because I think it's a good thing when if someone like me is throwing out some good possible of thoughts, then then like I said, it's just a good thing. They say something, you say something, it comes to a conclusion. That's how all these books were written over the years. They weren't just written by one, they were written because of people getting together and coming up with conclusions, so that's my main goal, is really just. And
Ray, it's too late, Ray. He didn't pick you, but Ray said cloud validation is awesome.
Love you, Ray. I hope you saw my hat tip to you and SPG in that video with the hot dog, man, because that was supposed to be mad love for you guys.
That's cool, man. And then Simpleton said the animation you made should be my startup animation. And also my daughter's name is Lena, so she's Lena Love, by the way.
Yep.
That question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool to see her doing her thing. But all right, man. With that said, I think that's. Thank you. That's everything I had. I just wanted to kind of peel back some layers. Let us hear about you and gaming and how you got into cloud gaming. And you answered everything. You answered questions that we had for you. And, it was just a ball of fun, man. So when's your next show? When is Cloudy V putting out some next content?
For me, I just drop it when something pops into my head, really, or when sometimes I might be at work and I might jot down this and then jot down this and then jot down that. And I want to have something, fresh. Like I thought, first show, not to say anybody else's stuff isn't fresh, but like my first show, I just wanted it to be something more original or something more, something fresh. So I don't have no new content yet, bro. The answer is I don't have that content, but I'm hoping some new, things happen, some new games happen. We get some excitement, and then there's just some things that we can kind of dig deeper into.
If I could just give you any advice, man, I think whenever conversations come up, you're just amazing with your input, right? So your answers are thought-provoking, right? Like I said, all jokes aside, I just remember you popping up and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good show. And you literally, the questions you asked, me personally, I think every so often you should just have a live thing and invite guests on, right? And then maybe you start off with a topic, because the way your brain works, as long as I know you, and hasn't been long, but I feel like your mind, if we went around a room and said, chipmunk. Like, I feel like your answer is gonna be thought-provoking and have other people have a conversation based off your answer. I feel like you're the person that if we're having a conversation, we're like, you know what, make sure Cloudy V is here because, bro, just watch this. And you just have Cloudy V, well, why don't you just join us? And you're like, oh, I'm free today. You're sitting in the back and we're like, you're like, yeah, I'm free today. I'm not really doing much, you know, but I'm tired or whatever. Like, yeah, we just want you to come. And you're sitting in the back and we're like, oh man, so when we did this, it was really crazy, but I wonder what, and you'd be like, oh, he got his hand up, what? And then you just literally, I feel like you're thought provoking, man. You just like always have something to add, and it's never just, yeah, I did that before, or oh yeah, that's cool, or you're more like you have layers, and I just want to say that I appreciate you. Like I used to always say to Maine, he adds value, right? And everybody, right? When I love having guests on because you guys add value, but it's something about you and when you explain things and when you're really into something. Like that's why I love seeing you and Ace or whatever, because you have so much input, and just being able to hear you explain versus reading what you're saying, I'm just telling you, it's something about it, man. So that's just my advice to you. Even if you don't have something extra planned, I just know you, bro. You're gonna vibe off other people, and you're gonna literally create content that's gonna be like, that was magical. So I just wanted to give you that advice and give you the credit for that, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much, man. I sometimes like I mean, when I'm getting that going, I mean, you see me like firing off like crazy, dude.
Oh
like,
yeah,
literally like in the background, like my wife's like sometimes like comes in and be like, calm down, you know what I mean? Because like I'm the type of person that that's the only way I can get my brain working is I got to get the adrenaline going with it, and then all of a sudden like everything starts firing. So sometimes like when I have conversations with people in real life or like at work and stuff like that, and I'm coming up with these ideas, you know what I mean? It could come off as aggressive. You know what I mean? Like people get like, oh man, that guy, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, like, okay, whoa, let's just back away from his conversations because he gets a little bit too excited. You know what I mean? So that's my Achilles heel, is that for me to get my brain charged up, I got to get the damn adrenaline flowing and Monkey Boy starts coming out, and I have to like, that's why sometimes it's better, like if I'm behind the chat, then I can, you know what I mean? Then I can say, okay, wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. You can't say that, bro. You can't say that. You know what I mean? You can't say that. You got to reword that one, man. You can't put it down like that. So, but I'm hoping as time goes on that I can, soften it and create the laughter, because there's so many people, they want the funness and the laughter and the fun, and not someone screaming at them. You know what I mean? So, or to sound like them. Awesome though, bro. Awesome. I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah. And Dude Game said, oh, he doesn't know me.
Oh. Who's that?
Dude Games.
Okay.
He changed his channel. It was always Dude Games. He was big into horror games, and he changed it to the Gaming Vote. But yeah, dude, around a little bit more. That's cool, man.
Yep.
Here's a funny story. I met Dude Games from playing. So every first of the month, I do a you seen the thing I do where I'll play a bit of each of the pro games, and then I rate it on a 1 to 10 scale, right? How likely am I to play it again, right? I was doing that, and I played Sniper Elite 4 for the first time, and Dude Games was in a game, and we could game chat. Never met the guy. And we start talking, and he's really good at making these voices. And we just start having a ball. By the way, I remind y'all that I won that match, just saying. And so I said, dude, we got to connect or something, man. You were funny. He's from Jersey. I'm from Jersey. And he inboxed me, and then we just became cool. But he did, for his own reasons, he was, a little bit in and out for a while. But he's a great guy, and it's good to see you popping around. Every so often, he's in my Discord. Actually, a lot in my Discord. He'll pop in and say good morning and all that.
But does he have a YouTube channel too?
Yeah, used to. He was one of the channels I went on. His was the Gaming Vote. Yeah, he's part of SBC also. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go on your thing tonight, and I'll add him. I'll add you, bro. I'll be checking out your content for sure, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
He does a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I try to dip into everybody's shows. I'm pretty. Just like you, I see you after lunchtime. You know how it is, man. We're dipping in there.
Yeah, man. All over. But all right, well, that's all I got, Cloudy V, man. Thank you so much for giving me this time. You and I was trying to make this work for a while, so I'm glad that it happened. Me too.
Good stuff, man.
So but here, this is it, guys. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Cloud Validation, Cloudy V.
Hey, let me say one thing too. Sorry. Mr. Urban World. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Mr. Urban World. I want to make sure he knows. I love you, Mr. Urban World. You're my buddy too, man. You're my bro. I like you. I like you. Hey, Mr. What did I tell him he's going to be? What did I say? Farmers Only. He's going to start the Farmers Only Cloud channel because he's always talking about that 56K dial-up connection for xCloud.
Listen, when Mr. Urban World started running joke, he doesn't let it go, man. I like to do that too, but Mr. Urban World, listen, Mr. Underworld, as Purple was calling him.
You're right. Yeah, he'd be out there. He's a good guy. He's out there. Yep. I appreciate his joking back and forth. We've, me and him joke back and forth. Nothing, no hard pokes, just pokes. Good stuff, bro. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you, but.
Not a problem at all. Well, look, man, I am going to, now it's cool. I'm going to spend some time with my wife now. I'm done streaming for the day, and she could get my attention, and I'll go say hi to my daughter. I didn't even say hi to my daughter. I came home, my youngest daughter, which is 16, or should be 16 in 2 months. But I'm going to go say hi to her, and then I'm going to chill and wind down. What are you about to get into?
Same thing. Probably go into the bedroom with the wife and spend some time. You don't realize it, but you come home from work and there's only so much time, and then you end up spending all your hours in here, and then you and your wife and your other family start missing out. So got to spend some time.
That's why on the weekends I'm absent from this stuff. Usually Thursday night, once it cut off, people rarely see me unless my wife is out doing something. I don't really have a life, so I'll do this. But other than that, I'm kind of going on the weekends. But because we got a regular life too,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro.
Let's see. Last couple things. Talk about Mr.
Hey, Houts, shout out to Houts too. Good man. I love Houts' input, man. He's always got some good input, man. Same thing. Man, not crazy, not off the wall input, just good, good thoughts and good, common sense thoughts.
Why'd you get Ray started? Look what he said.
All right, Ray, the hot dog king.
Man. Ray, actually, technically, I told your mom I was gonna call her like 10 minutes ago. So we went over, Usually everybody get an hour. Cloudy V got an hour and 14 minutes, so I gotta get to your mom.
Sorry, bro.
All right, man. I'll talk to you.
Good times. Yep.
Definitely.
Catch you soon.
All right, later.
Later.
All right, guys, we are out of here. Take care. Now your mama knows.
And now your mama knows.
Bruce, unleash the baby god dragon.